exciting announcement. We now have Brockton Bay Book Club merch. We've got our Brockton Bay Book Club t-shirt, as well as the Brockton Bay's sweatshirt. They look sweet. Hannah designed them, and they're amazing. So if you're interested in that, link will be in the description. And shout out to Hannah for all the sweet designs. Thanks so much for your guys' support, and go check it out. Worm is a web serial by J.C. McCrae, also known as Wildbow. You can read Worm in its original format by visiting parahumans.wordpress.com or donate to Wildbow's Patreon at patreon.com/wildbow. This story isn't intended for young or sensitive readers. Readers who are on the lookout for trigger warnings are advised to give Worm a pass. For a complete list, check the description for all of Worm's trigger warnings.
Brockton Bay. Make your way underground, because Scion's coming to town.
Boy.
Welcome back.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
Hannah starts crying.
Holy fucking shit, we're gonna die.
Yeah. We're
Brought to you
doomed.
by the word squick. Squick.
Okay,
No. We do need to
is-
talk about Squick, actually.
We do
though.
need to talk about Squick. Do we
Squick.
do we just get that out of the way now?
People know who we
Yeah.
are, right? Let's
Yeah.
just talk about it. It's fine.
What does it mean?
Squick means a feeling of intense disgust.
Is that actually what it means? Or you look up the definition?
I did have to look up the definition.
And
Yeah.
when was this used? I think I missed the
It's
word
used
squick.
This
Twice.
is used twice.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
dang.
Once by Tattletale when talking about sex and having an overload during that. And later by, I want to say Imp, who probably has just
It is
been
Imp.
nicking words off of
Right.
Tattletale and the like.
Oh man. See, I was watching out. I was doing my F me and copacetic counts, so I
Which
missed the
there
word
were
squick.
some there.
I counted four fuck me's. And 0 copacetics. Once again, these are not copacetic arcs. Nobody
I
is
know.
copacetic.
He
No
moved
one
on
is
to Squick
copacetic.
for this
Yeah.
arc. This was a Squick
Yeah, there's
arc
a lot of
for sure.
Squicks.
Yeah, a lot
Very
of squick
squicky.
happening. Very squick.
That is, Jacob,
I agree.
take note. That's our description. A very squick
Yep,
arc.
Yep. Thank you.
There's also
Noted.
another word that I saw. Ahem. I believe it is, where do I have it? MOUE. Moo.
Oh, yeah.
I saw
no,
that one
it's-
too. Yeah.
I had to look that one up.
A pouting expression.
Yeah.
Ingenue uses it.
Yeah, a moo.
Mhm.
A moo.
Moo.
A pouting expression to convey annoyance or distaste.
I did want to give a shout out to the phrase juncular area.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I enjoyed that immensely.
That's just a classic.
Really runkled his junkle there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice. Very good. Yep. Rotted off his juncular area. One of
Very
our, I think,
classy.
probably one of our favorite moments in the story so far.
For sure.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one.
So yeah, good times all around, honestly.
Yeah. Ooh, glad we got the vocab out of the way. How did we feel about this arc as a whole?
I enjoyed it actually. I had a really good time with this arc.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a step down in terms of pacing from arc 27, but the conversations that happen in this arc are all fantastic. There's some really cool little moments, and the tension is still there throughout everything. So yeah, I liked it a lot. It's definitely a lull in these last few arcs, but it doesn't feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah, because I don't know where I put it, but somewhere midway through this arc, I was like, is this kind of a bullshit arc? Not in terms of quality, just like you said, like the tension's still there, but I didn't feel like anything was happening. Um, and I did really enjoy all the conversations. Yeah, it definitely felt like a breather in between what
Yeah.
happened and what's about to happen.
It's kind of how I keep relating the ending of Worm. The more I've kind of been rereading it now, especially these final few arcs where I don't have the full Wormnesia, but I'm definitely like I only remember the big set pieces, and all these stuff that happens in between is pretty fresh again. But it really does feel like watching like a classic war film. Like in those war films, it's always battles are going on, but then there's periods in the movie you're watching that just like back at camp, while
Yeah.
war, and this kind of feels like that where war is raging, but you still have the stuff that's got to go on, in between the fights.
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely serves as a really good pre-end fight wrap-up episode as well. I think I talked about this previously, how it felt like Taylor was doing a lot of work Wildbow and Taylor as a character, they were doing a lot of work to try to tie up loose ends, and it feels like this was definitely one of those arcs too. Bringing back Lung, bringing back Shadow Stalker, um, talking with Tattletale, talking with the kids and Charlotte and
Mhm.
Forrest again, right? Like this whole arc felt like kind of, like saying goodbye to a lot of these characters. Like I don't expect to see Charlotte and Forrest again, in a
Mhm.
way. I honestly don't remember if we do or not. Um, so yeah, it's kind of an interesting feeling there too of just this sort of goodbye tour that they take for a moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like it, but it makes me sad because it means it's almost over.
I know.
Yeah. It was nice to see them again.
I liked seeing a lot of them. I wasn't feeling it for the. There was a little bit of there that felt like saying goodbye for the sake of, like you said, doing a goodbye tour. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like I didn't need to see
Mhm.
Glenn and uh, I love Kaye, but I didn't need to see them again.
See, I didn't need to see them, but I'm glad that I did. Is kind of
Me
how I feel about it.
too.
I'm like,
I like seeing them
I honestly
also.
forgot that they even appeared again in the story at all. So this is
Yeah,
very much
same.
like,
Jacob said it. This is where Wormnesia hit the hardest. This
yeah,
is like
Yeah.
I
yeah,
thought
for
I
sure.
knew, like for sure that I remember Chevalier, I remember the Endbringers, and I remember seeing Charlotte and the kids again. I did not remember all the other jumping around and talking to people things. Those were out of nowhere for me.
Well, let's want to dive into it. Want to just kind of go. We don't have a lot of chapters. They were long chapters, but we only have a few of them, so we can kind of go chapter at a time. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, chapter 1, if you all remember, at the end of arc 27, Taylor is quite ripped in half, if you will, and dying in the water before she gets sucked through a portal. So arc 28 opens with Taylor waking up in the hospital, feeling her limbs and realizing that she has limbs again. She has her fingers and legs now, but they feel off. And she listens in as Tattletale argues with Dr. Mother. The world is falling to pieces while Scion travels the multiverse, basically blowing everything up. And the group gets ready to fight back.
Oh.
Brutal.
Okay, I just gotta say though, I the more you read Worm in this second read around, I feel like I'm hitting Taylor's narcissism more. Because as she's
Uh-huh.
laying in the hospital hearing people say, "Oh, that was such a bad decision. Why do you do that?" Her first thought is, "Oh, they're talking about me." And that's only like half a joke. I do feel like this is just a quick writing critique, not for Wildbow, but just for the story in general. Taylor comes across as a very narcissistic protagonist, but the
Yeah.
issue is she keeps being right.
Yeah.
So she has the right to be narcissistic.
Yeah.
I wish she was wrong more, I think is what I'm trying to say.
I think so too. I think so too.
But anyways, yeah, I like the sort of pseudo phantom limb thing too, where she's like, "Are these my limbs? Did she redo them right?
Right.
How's my
yeah.
pussy?" Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Gross.
bro.
Why? No.
That is the order of operations.
So bad.
I mean, I know that's crass, but
I mean,
she does think that though. Like,
She thinks that for half a second. She's honestly like she
Yeah.
spends more time thinking about the fact that like, oh, I have muscles in my legs that aren't mine, that like weren't built by all of my running endurance over the past like fucking
I did think that was
7
fascinating.
years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like she spends more time thinking about that than she does about her nethers. Okay, so
No, I know.
Our nethers.
her nether region. I'd worry. I think we'd all worry a little, but like the fact that because she's from the very beginning, Taylor's been a runner, and like that's the first thing she thinks of is like, are these my muscles?
Yeah,
Will
exactly. Will
they be good running muscles?
Oh,
Which is such an
and every
interesting thing.
dude's first check is the size. So like,
Doctor,
I've watched enough soccer. Like,
Doctor, how's my dick?
wow, what a special time to be alive. Okay, what were we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about checking your junk, and then
checking out
we
your new
found
body.
out that then we find out that Canary's in the room.
Yeah, Canary. Yeah, I said this a second ago. The group gets ready to fight back the gang. As I'm gonna read the little summaries for all of us. When I talk about the gang or the group, I'm talking about it's Tattletale, it's Taylor, Bitch, Imp, Canary, and then we have like a couple extras that get added in as we will get to them. But that's the main group right here. As we know, Regent died a while ago, and I think it is this chapter where they say that Gru has left to be alone in the cabin in the woods with Red Hand. What's her face? I don't care. Sure, whatever.
Getting cozy with Cozen.
Yeah.
Getting cozy with Cozen in the woods.
Also,
Basically,
I had to
they've
double-check.
gone away to die at the end of the
Yeah,
world.
well, okay, so that's where I was confused because of the last one. But having gone over this again, Tattletale's totally lying, right?
that's the vibe I got when
Wait,
reading
really?
We
it.
talked about this a little bit last time. That, like, remember, you guys were reassuring me that on the oil rig, Gru 100% gets wiped out.
No,
No, we
What?
didn't say Gru did.
no.
We said Clock Blocker did.
No,
Clock Blocker
Clockblocker
gets
Clock
totally
Blocker,
fried.
we see his ghost, but when we're talking about like, oh, like in her head, Taylor goes, "Oh yeah, Gru got fried." Like Gru is fucking gaunt.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I did not get that impression. I got the impression of we don't know where he is.
Okay, Michael, pull up.
I have
the
no
tapes.
recollection of discussing Gru at all,
Yeah.
actually. To be honest.
We might have been talking about that in dissecting.
No, we were talking about it on the last book club.
The last time you recorded, Alan? Because that
Roll
was
the tape.
No,
dissecting
not
word.
the last time we recorded. We did not record for long
Ref?
enough for this to be an issue.
Ref?
Throw the challenge flag.
My memory is such that I actually vaguely remember what Alan's talking about, but I don't remember any details. I do remember us discussing if Gru was alive and saying that it's implied that he's dead. That's what I remember. But we will have to.
I really don't remember discussing Gru.
You know
dying
what?
at
don't
all.
We'll leave
remember
it
that
to the
either.
true judges. Let us know in the comments.
All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Am I crazy and also wrong? That's what we need to know.
If you're crazy and wrong.
Yes,
I mean,
we know
we could-
I'm crazy. We've established that.
Right. Okay.
On
Alright,
top
let's
of,
record.
if we're retrospective, we're getting a bit retrospective about this. This, since we've talked so much about the gosh darn Endbringers post Eidolon's death, like, how in the world did I ever think? There's no way I would have missed all of that. like that he, in some way is related to the Unbringers. Like, I know that I talked about having a tough time, but that must have been the wormnesia hitting real hard that day. Because there is no way, with the amount of blathering they go on about how Eidolon is so connected, that I missed that in any of my read-throughs. I must have been high when we recorded that podcast episode. I don't know what was going on in my head.
Fair enough.
We'll either be wrong or we'll be right. It doesn't matter. The point is that I'm sorry. I did not read that as, hey, he's totally, because are you basically, Alan, you're saying that Tattletale is doing the whole like, oh yeah, he went to the farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
So there's a moment later in one of the chapters. I have to remember which one it is. Later on in this arc.
Talks about it.
Yeah, because Imp says something and then Tattletale shoots her a glance, or vice versa, something like that. Where like they talk about Gru in the past tense, like was yada yada.
I thought that had to do with like in reference to Taylor and Gru being ex-lovers. Because I feel like if he was like deadzo, wouldn't Imp be more upset or like
I don't feel like she would
lashing
just be
out
okay.
angrily? Like she seems like
I don't know.
She's a downright peach in this arc. I freaking loved Imp in every single one of these chapters. She was funny. She had all this new vocabulary that she's throwing around. Like, I thought she was fantastic. I did not get the vibe at all that she was like using humor as a way to like cover up the fact that she's sad that her brother's dead.
I mean, it's always possible. I feel like Gru comes back, but I don't know why.
You feel like
because I have intense wormnesia for this.
I don't remember.
Honestly, the wormnesia is hitting hard here. So
this is where I will say. I was saying this outside of the podcast, but I believe arc 27 is when I stayed up all night till like 3 or 4 in the morning reading Worm to finish it because I needed to know what happened. So my memory of these next arcs will be vague, which is fun because there's a lot of stuff I don't remember happening.
How did you take it, commenters? Let us know. Do we think Tattletale's
let
lying?
us know in the comments below.
Or not? It's interesting.
Also a good Despairy Canary.
That was funny.
Fantastic. And it's funny, Hannah, that you talked about the gang. Like this is our gang. Because all I could think during this chapter was, man, the Canary is the one normal person in an Always Sunny sketch right now.
Oh my god!
Like the gang befriends the Simurgh. It just cuts to Tuesday 4:30 p.m. and it's them in the hospital. Hey guys, we're fighting God.
Jesus.
Pick which character you'd like to represent which Always Sunny character in this regard. But the normal person who's been dragged into the insanity is Canary in this case.
Yeah, poor Canary.
I feel so bad for her.
God.
She's gone through it.
Did not deserve to be in the birdcage.
Does not deserve to be with these people.
Yeah.
Hey man, we got to go do some killing. I don't kill. Oh, don't worry. We'll get you there.
We'll work our way up to it.
It was so clear that she was like a scapegoat for so many things because like you got to imagine she was watching the news when Taylor kills Alexandria and still doesn't go to the birdcage. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That would be her. That should have been her Joker moment.
Yeah, really. Her second trigger. Yeah.
Well, thank goodness they didn't get TV down there.
Yeah, really. Probably helped.
Well, didn't they though? Because they
have a television.
Oh, okay.
But they don't know what's going on because every time somebody comes down into the birdcage, everybody swamps them with questions.
Yeah, to find out.
That's true. That's
right,
true.
Right.
I thought for some reason there was a scene of Lung reacting to Taylor.
No, Sophia reacts.
Sophia. That's right. Sophia and Jack are the ones. That's right.
Yeah. Also, this whole lesson that I get from, the moral lesson I'm getting out of all this is it really goes to show that the real villains, and I'm looking at you, Saint and Teacher, you motherfuckers. The real villains are the people that take advantage of people, like of you at the worst times.
Yeah.
Like, because there's bad guys doing bad things, but then it comes to like a matter of the universe, like the world surviving. And these motherfuckers still go out of their way to be dicks.
We're kind of getting into chapter 2 if you want to just read the summary.
Yeah,
Anna.
I don't mind. Chapter 2, the group plus Canary questions Saint. By the way, at this point, the group has joined with Defiant and fucking horn lady. Narwhal. Thank you. I almost said Pegasus. And Narwhal to question Saint. Tattletale picks him apart. Teacher fucks with the portal and escapes with pieces of dragon. And Taylor notices something about the Endbringers.
Let's talk about Narwhal.
Oh my God.
Whew.
I just like, mommy? Wow. Okay. Very hot. Very, very hot.
I don't remember her being that hot until I read it again.
I do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And can she change her horn?
Yes.
Because it's all like glass scale piece things, right?
Yes. It's a little force field held scale things.
Yep.
Because and they don't move; they just slide in the air wherever she pushes them, and we know this
because the whole
because of her
thing?
magic, because her magic bookmarks and her magic bra.
Cool, God.
She has the ultimate athletic bra.
Yeah.
No jiggle, no bounce, just wherever she wants it to go.
So cool.
She uses a force field as a bookmark.
It's very cool.
Also, big nerd, book reader talks about, like, she goes with Taylor, like, yes, loved your book recommendation. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
I want to know what it was. I want to know so
Book
badly what Taylor and Narwhal are reading in their little book club.
Book Rex with Narwhal? Oh.
Definitely smut.
I'd subscribe to that. Just like you can subscribe to our Patreon, where you could get our book recommendations if you wanted. We're no narwhal, but boy, will we try.
It's just smut.
If you ask nicely enough, we might even read some smut for you.
Oh, that's for our special patrons.
Yeah.
If you ask nicely enough, we might write the smut for you.
Oh, dear.
They were reading alternate Earth smut of them, like from an alternate world,
Oh my God. Oh
that's
my
funny.
God. Do I need to write this now? I feel like I need to write this now.
That's a pretty good premise, right? That's a free one. That's all you.
That's good, Jacob.
I mean, I'm writing like 2 other smut books right now, but like, I'll put those on hold. I know what the public wants.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then, on top of everything else that Imp is doing, man, somebody really needed to smack her for her robot sex jokes with Defiant right there.
Oh my God. They were so good, though.
Okay, they
were so funny.
I had to do the meme, but like, she's out of line, but she's not wrong. Like, like we needed the answers.
We all wanted,
Somebody hit her. Like, she shouldn't. This is inappropriate now. But Defiant, I'm going to want a report on my desk by tomorrow morning.
Also, Hannah, I like that you mentioned Imp's new vocabulary. And I like that the whole time Taylor's basically thinking to herself, like, Imp, have you been reading?
I love it so much. I feel like Imp has always just kind of been like the annoying little sister vibes who's like crass and like rude with ill-timed jokes. And it's always just kind of been like a little annoying. This was the arc that I realized that like I fucking love Imp. Like she's so funny. She had some of the best quips and like all of her her vocab where it's like, ooh, that's a $3 word. Good job, Imp. Like oh my gosh. Just the whole thing tickled my fancy. I was so here for it.
I love that
It
it
was
just
very
gives Tattletale an even bigger headache, though.
Yeah.
Like you would think that Imp upping her game would be a pro, and instead it's just worse for Tattletale.
Just gives her a worse headache. She's like, wait,
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
How did it make you more annoying, not less
My
to be
calculations did not
educated?
predict you'd be this smart. I'm not ready.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Then she makes the joke about like, oh no, what if they do an evil a black dragon? And I was like, don't you mean a bad dragon?
No.
No, not everyone is as horny as we are tonight, apparently.
Oh, Michael,
Kinky.
there we go. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Kinky.
Oh, it's hilarious. Oh my God. Wow. I love us.
And then we berate Saint for a while, which
Yes,
is true.
which he
we should
deserves.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we should all
100%.
take time now to say something about Saint.
I'd like to take this time to tell Saint some choice words. Fuck you.
You're a bitch.
What's the quote? What's Kelly's quote from The Office? I have several questions. First of all, how dare you?
Yes, that's one.
Fucking idiot.
Dumbass.
I said that at the same time with the exact same inflection too. That was
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. God damn. I
Well
love
done.
you.
Well
I
done.
love you, Alan. There's a reason why we're together. God damn.
Little did they know that Saint had also asked teacher for a punishment kink.
Oh my god.
I feel like Tattletale would have picked up on it.
He
She would have
didn't
been like,
ask for that, but teacher threw it in there for free.
He just gives it. Yeah, he gives it to everybody. You're gonna need this.
That's so good. Oh
Ooh.
my God. Fantastic.
And then Rachel gives possibly the longest talk she's ever talked.
I had to literally go back and check
It
who was
was-
speaking
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, she's still going. Wait, is
Yep.
this actually
Who
Rachel?"
is that? It was amazing because I think Taylor says right afterwards, she says something like, oh my gosh, no, she doesn't talk much, but like she's listening this entire fucking time. Like she doesn't get the simple stuff, but like she's getting the overall picture. She knows what the fuck is going on. I was like, this is the most like comprehensive she's ever been. And I'm here for it. Like I love it, but also like that felt a little out of character.
Well, that's okay. So one of the things we talked about when she left was that Rachel started attending the meetings because she said that's something that Taylor,
Mhm.
like she thought Taylor, now
Right.
that Taylor's gone, she needed to step in and start participating in the meetings to get, a handle on the political situation.
Right.
So she's been on the leadership meetings with the undersiders and shit. And then she's also gone and, she has her group. And we've talked about responsibility was she is the sheriff in town.
Yep.
Like she has been sheriffing, which means in a very small scale, kind of doing a little bit of politicking, like showing up. Hey, what's the dispute? I'm throwing you through the portal. Like sometimes it's clear, but I've got to imagine sometimes it's two people fighting and she's got to like figure that out.
Yeah.
So like she's taken to heart and, she started doing that as soon as Taylor left. So it's
I
been
love it.
2 years of
So proud.
at the very least sitting in and observing.
Which will get you far.
Yeah. I imagine in my head that the best way for her to do stuff would be to sit in there and close her eyes and try to ignore as hard as possible tone and
Mm,
try to get just words.
right.
Because she's not stupid.
She just
It's
needs
just-
the closed captions.
Yeah, she just needs the closed captions because all the other information is changing how she's perceiving things. So if she
Yeah.
can cut out all the irrelevant information and get down to like what words are they saying, like
Yeah.
starting there. So imagine she's got her arms folded, eyes closed. It kind of looks like she's asleep. And then she opens her eyes and is like, no, this is what we need to do. And then goes back to listening.
No, it was a good moment for her. I felt like it really felt like one of those big character development moments. And I think it was this arc where she talked about like how it's like the first time Taylor met me, she kicked me in the head and then I stopped bothering her. Like
Yeah.
that's just the way we
Yeah.
do stuff sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I don't understand how you don't get this.
I love it. I love it so
Violence
much.
is never the answer. I mean, I don't know what worked for me.
Violence
I
is
sure
the
caught on
answer
fast.
sometimes.
Anything else in chapter 2?
Well, I mean, I think we should talk a little bit more about teacher
Oh, we should. Yeah. We should.
and the whole dragon situation. So I still don't think I understand teacher's powers other than like, okay, just I'll tell you what I think and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. So teacher can grant powers to people, but there's like a certain like web of influence that he has over people, and it's like it can wear off because that was the whole thing about Saint. Like, well, maybe Saint is being impacted by teacher, but you know he hasn't had contact in so long, and so it's like, well, the hold of influence he has over him like has faded, but he can basically like bestow powers and then keep people in his thrall, like under his like they become like acolytes to him where he can basically like control them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're kind of spot on.
So he essentially gives them like between a 0 and a 1 power level to people.
Okay, which is why Saint is technically a 0 tinker.
No, Saint is considered a 0 tinker because of his access to dragons technology.
Okay.
Yeah, technically
then-
he's not powered at the moment.
Well,
but he like but he gets his boost of because there's a whole one of the things that Tattletale says to Saint is that you're just an addict, that you just want the next hit of power that Saint can give you, and they fight about that for a little bit. But like, so teacher gives him what, like temporary power that's 0 tinker, or like
I didn't think it was temporary.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you go for it.
I was going to say the way I read it was that it was temporary, intentionally made so by Saint as part of his attempt to try and outsmart teacher by being like, only want small doses, limited run, that kind of thing, because then he was like
he can control.
teaching what he knew to his followers.
Right.
Little did you know that he was, 2 steps behind teacher the whole time. But that was he was like, teacher can grant permanent powers, but he specifically was only requesting temporary powers, not realizing that teacher was
getting him hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the more like the power is permanent, but it starts like it is the amount of times you do it increases his influence as well. So that's why he like came to him, was like, I need help managing the technology. So he got 1 boost, and then he got more because he needed, more stuff like to deal with the technology.
Yeah, it's a nice parallel to Eidolon's need for drugs from Cauldron in a way.
Yeah, I think boost.
Yeah, but
sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it is interesting that they rate him as a level 0 tinker.
Yeah.
I guess it is just that signifier, and not everybody until recently people didn't know that he was getting teacher hits. So yeah, so it seems like you guys have said, it's more just like, oh, he had Dragon's tech, which is really dangerous, and he knows how to use it, but he's not really a tinker. So yeah.
Just going off the wiki, it does decay. Teacher's power decays over time. There's been almost no cases where teacher's power lasted more than a few days without a refresher. And the brainwashing wearing off over, a little bit longer.
Nice.
So teacher just keeps the people that are like under his thrall. He just keeps them close by.
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
The brainwashing can take longer to wear off, it says. Weeks to months.
Good to know.
Yeah. So I think Saint really was like just a classic addict. So this slowly kind of over time, and then just literally fell for it like an addict would, where he really wasn't under the, like, he's been away from teacher for a while at this point. So not under his influence, but still like subtly, desperately needing that hit.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Interesting. And I'm just thinking about Dragon and all of this, is that like what was so other than to take Dragon apart and put Dragon back together and basically create a failsafe so that Dragon cannot go after teacher, what else is teacher planning? Like, what else is the plan here? Because it feels like we had this whole thing of where Saint is taking, Dragon offline, and he thinks that he's doing the world a favor because it's like, well, we were up against this big threat and it could have been her. We didn't know, so we took her out of commission. And then teacher basically steals her and like fucks with her code to make it so that she can never go after him, and puts all these fail-safes, excuse me, there we go. Fail-safes. Yeah, fail-safes in order so that she can't, even if she tries to, over like if he dies and all this other stuff. So like, was that his only purpose of like getting her? Like, it feels to me like we shouldn't trust a damn thing the Dragon does now. Like, we should, like, with the same idea of like, well, you've been around teacher, like, okay, well, we're not going to trust you because you could be under his command. Like, we shouldn't be trusting Dragon either.
Yeah.
No,
so teacher is, and they talk about this a little bit, a teacher is like a big time, like long-term planner, which leads to him being kind of not as powerful as Cauldron, but like he has, a bunch of backups and fail safes, and it's clearly like prepared himself to be, insulated during some sort of world conflict. And, so he's got all these weird chess moves that he's doing. Nobody knows where they're going or what they're up to except for him. Part of the dragon thing, I also, only one dragon can exist at a time as part of the coding. That's like set into her things. So when like, even there can be backups, and there clearly are, like the one dragon got killed, and then I believe they pulled this from a backup that is like in the satellite, but it's like 30 minutes.
This is a cloud dragon.
This is a cloud save. So like it did miss whatever the last 30 minutes, hour of stuff is. But they went into the server basically and grabbed her and potentially messed with all the other server stuff that, backs her up. We don't know, but they went in and grabbed her and brought her out. So that's the only one that can exist right now, and have taken away all of those weird restrictions. So one of those being, that there only has to be one dragon potentially. Yeah. Which in my mind, I don't like, because if he took away the restrictions, that's like, okay, well, what you gave us a dragon. Do you have more?
Do you have the dragon? Do you have copies of the dragon? Are there, do you have backups of the, like?
Yeah, I mean, that's getting later into the interlude. And wait, no, previously.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But, no, it's teacher here just escaping into the portal. Makes absolute sense. It's the absolute kind of assholery move we would expect from a
yellow bellied
like right?
bitch.
Yeah, exactly. He's very much the I don't know, he's an interesting character. He's definitely one of those who's like, yes, I know the world's ending, but what about my contingencies?
Yeah.
What if the world doesn't end and then I'm left with, half of my resources? That just won't do.
That just won't do.
Gosh. As teacher is a person I want to sick Glory Girl on. Just have her punt him into a
into a dumpster at him.
Because it's one of those like Tattletale, you talk a lot of smack who's somebody within slapping range.
Yeah.
And teacher is one of those people where I'm like, teacher, you're talking a whole lot of smack for someone who doesn't have a force field.
Well, but if he's surrounded constantly by these fucking bitches, then
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that's just like it's just like human meat shield at this point.
It's human meat shields, and because they're all tinkers and thinkers, like they probably like 10 of them have different force fields that they can put up or something like that they've built.
Yeah.
Because he can also, he can control what ability they get. And manipulate that. So,
right.
He's like, all right, you're Tinker 1, and 10 of you are about saving my life tinkering. So,
yeah.
chop. Here's a workshop.
Yeah. This is kind of pulling from the future, but I did appreciate him. Like, immortality isn't something I'd really considered, but maybe one day I'll put my mind to it.
Motherfucker.
You asshole.
Teacher, I am almost certain that teacher is a dumbass, but he has enough people that he can fake having good plans with. Like, I shouldn't say dumbass. I don't think teacher is as smart as he believes he is. And that he just gets away with a lot of shit because nobody knows what the hell he's doing.
It's working.
That checks. That passes the vibe check. That is who he is.
And maybe that's just because I hate him.
I mean, I also hate him, so.
I hate him, and he's stupid.
He's dumb.
His penis is small.
Jesus.
Goddamn.
He has no fashion.
Anyways. Do we want to? Do we want to?
Steps during the WAP.
What'd you say?
What?
I said, I bet he 2 steps during the WAP.
Oh my god.
He's got no dance skills.
No dance. None. Zero dance skills.
The WAP.
I was just thinking of a song I dance to at every wedding. So.
Okay, so chapter 3. The gang plans to fight the Endbringers. Taylor goes and talks to Panacea to thank her, and Panacea gives her a gift. Lung joins the group, as does Shadowstalker, and they head off to face the Simurgh.
Down.
So you left Lung in charge of babysitting Bonesaw. I'm okay with it. I'm very okay with it.
Yeah. If it works, it works. Because it's not just Lung, it's Panacea. Because I feel like Lung just backs up Panacea. So it's like,
yeah.
Panacea backed up by Lung is babysitting Bonesaw.
Okay. Hear me out. Because here's what I thought with this. So Bonesaw goes full spinal column, stabby stab, crawling on the ground towards you. Now with our weed boy, like he couldn't fight off a wet paper bag. So like, of course he got spiked. Blasto. There we go. Blasto, of course, got, spiked and rode around for a while.
Yeah.
Horrifying because you've got, this monstrous thing chasing after you and it like climbs up your back. She tries to pull that shit on Lung. He will rip her in half again. Like he's not like the image in my mind is like went from a horror movie to like a minor inconvenience. Like Bonesaw, I will rip your jaw off. Like get off of me. like she tries to pull that like crawling on the floor towards him thing, and he just like punts her.
So it's either this chapter or the next one. I can't remember what it was, but I had to take a screenshot of this because it's my favorite line of the entire arc. And Taylor, I nodded at that. Wise words, Lung. Well said. Do not talk to me, he rumbled.
I love it.
You rotted my balls off and scooped out my eyes. I have nothing to say to you.
I have absolutely nothing to say to you.
Like,
do not speak to me.
You could tell it's taking everything in him to not just annihilate Taylor.
Not just punt her. Oh, yeah. I love it so much, though. Oh my God. I love Lung. I think Lung is fantastic. And so like having him here is just peachy keen to have him part of the group. Like what a fun little ragtag team we have going on here with like we our boy of the group, because it's all girls now. Our boy of the group is Lung, and then occasionally Defiant. And I just love that so much. It's just such a fun dynamic. Like this is the show that I want to watch. Like this is the team that I want to, peek in on and see what they're up to, because it's just so fun for me. I love it.
Yeah. I love Lung.
You know what? I do want that
Always
show.
will.
I want that spinoff so bad.
It would be so much fun.
Okay, hear me out. It's a bar that starts as like a minor supervillain rogue bar, Cheers style, except eventually the hero who like is always chasing down the minor villains, who's like a vigilante, shows up and he starts drinking at the bar too. And eventually you have a small cast of heroes and villains, rogues and vigilantes, that all hang out at the same bar after they're done for the day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who's the bartender of that bar?
Ooh.
Some old PRT officer. Retired.
Retired
Coil
PRT
sniper.
officer.
There you go.
Because he like occasionally will like just chip in with words of wisdom, and where it like stops the conversation and everyone just like slowly turns and looks at him and he goes, "What? I used to be a sniper." And everyone's like, "Can you believe this guy? Like, what the fuck?"
Genius.
Doesn't even have powers.
Genius, Hannah. I love it.
This episode of the Brockton Bay Book Club is sponsored by Maid Marian. Maid Marian creates custom cottagecore and Ren Fair clothing designed for every body. Whether you're looking for a lace-up bodice, rustic apron and pinafore, or ethereal dresses, you'll find items customized for every individual's fit and design. All items are lovingly hand-sewn with attention to detail and a touch of whimsy. Visit Maid Marian today and transform your wardrobe with clothing that feels as enchanting as it looks. Find Maid Marian on Etsy at themaidmarian.etsy.com.
I did want to say we have this scene here too with Panacea and Marquis doing their hospital stuff, working together. Where he's like,
yeah.
I gotta regrow this bone. It's gonna hurt, and she's like, okay, nerves are gone. Do it.
Yeah. It won't hurt for 20 minutes.
So cool. So cool.
And what a duo.
And then
Yeah.
then she does a good thing? Question mark.
Yeah, with the relay bugs.
Has she grown as a person? Perhaps
it feels like it, but I don't trust it for a second.
I would argue that it's less that she's grown. Well, okay, yeah, no, grown as a person, yes, but more so like grown into being content with who she is. Because like it feels like when we first meet her, she's very unsure. She doesn't have a lot of like self-confidence. She has a lot of like that feeling of like, well, I don't belong here. So she's trying too hard and she's like pushing the limit of like what she thinks is like good or right. And in the end, she ends up just bungling everything over and over and over again. But like here, she's all tatted up. She's been in the birdcage. She's reconnected with her dad. And she's had to like figure shit out in the birdcage. Like, yes, her dad protected her, but like she did have to deal with the reality of who she was and who she is. And like, I feel like she's just so much more comfortable with herself. Like she is content in her own skin. And I love that. I think that like, it adds a lot to like her likability, but also to like her acceptance of her surroundings. And this like moment where she gives Taylor the relay bugs that not only are relay bugs, but relay bugs that have the ability to then breed and like potentially create more is like, is not to say like, hey, we're good, or like, hey, I forgive you, but this understanding of like, I know what you're trying to do, and I want to make it easier for you to do what you're trying to do to save the world.
Yeah.
Like yes, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, her confronting, like seeing Taylor and being like, "Oh, so So you're a big hero now. You get all the attention that I should have gotten.
Yeah.
But I didn't
Everybody
feel like it
accepts
was
you.
like that. Like it doesn't feel like she's jealous. It feels like she recognizes it and is like maybe sad or upset that it didn't happen for her, but like she's accepted it and she's like, yeah, you got all of the everything that I ever wanted, and like maybe we settled into our roles as who we are now, and like that's okay.
Yeah, here's the feeling I have for
I think just
Amy.
less whiny. She seems less whiny.
Yeah.
I think the comfortability is on the money. I don't know if that's a good thing or just a different thing. Because I don't feel like any of the problems have. It's like somebody who's unstably hating themselves versus they've given up on whether that's a chaotic element and they're just like, oh yeah, I hate myself. Like it didn't get better. They just resigned to the fact that, oh no, like that is an assurity that I do not like myself and I live with that now. But I haven't worked on that. Like I feel like all the problems that Amy has had are there, but they're like we said, like they're part of her now, and she has grown around them instead of growing past them. They were in flux before, and she was very nervous about those elements of herself. And now she is comfortable with the fact that she is self-pitying and all that jazz. That's the vibe I got.
I think I kind of
got it.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to chapter
I feel
3.
like that's pretty good. We can go ahead and move on. Chapter 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we were going to go into chapter 3. No, it was chapter. Never mind. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Do you have thoughts
I'm
for chapter 3, Nick?
No, I realized I had a thought for chapter 2, and I feel bad going back to it, but
No. Let's go back to it.
no, it was just there was a kind of a throwaway line, but Saint was like the whole thing about like, oh, she's a robot, she's not real, and then Rachel's like, I bet you're the kind of person who thinks dogs don't have feelings, huh?
Yeah.
I genuinely thought that was in this chapter for some reason. I'm so sorry to everybody. I have failed, and I'll be muted the rest of the time.
No. I did notice that part. I agree. I thought that was because like he's such an asshole. Like,
nah, he don't.
All right, no. We can move on to chapter 4. I got my chapters mixed up.
Okay.
There's too much happening.
I'm sorry. It is a lot of like conversations that happen here, and it's just like we're gonna move from one location to the other, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter whether we were in the hospital or in the Dragonfly or standing outside of a cell, but like we had conversations. Conversations were had. Chapter 4. Tattletale reveals that Eidolon made the Endbringers. She talks, Taylor relays, and the Simurgh listens, and then follows. They set her up against the Yangban while Leviathan attacks the Elite. Oh, I forgot. In there, after the talking and listening, they do try a weird power charades, which got so confusing, and I don't understand why they did that. I'm gonna need someone to explain that to me.
I remember the power charades working, and not the fact that Tattletale talking was actually the thing that worked.
Yeah, because I'm like, they're like, oh, I don't know if it's working, and like that makes sense of like Tattletale's like, I can't read her, like I don't know if this is having any effect, like maybe we should try a different tactic, like that all makes sense. And then they try it, and then it's like we forget that they've try it, nothing happens, and then we're talking again. I think I just didn't see the point of us doing that, other than putting Shadowstalker on the nose of the Dragonfly or the whatever the ship is called,
which was very funny. One of the best parts of the chapter and the arc, honestly.
I thought it was.
Well, I think it was just like they recognize that the Endbringers are created beings, right? We finally get the payoff of Tattletale's little insight into Leviathan, where it's like they're not human, they never were. And so now it's sort of the payoff for that. And we're saying, okay, so they were created by Eidolon to push his powers to the limit. That was what his passenger wanted, was to force him to go to his limit so that way he could be as powerful as possible. And he created the Endbringers unintentionally as a side effect. And that was the point of the whole statement, like, you needed worthy opponents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's just like, because Eidolon created them unconsciously, they just have no idea how to deal with them. Like, he didn't control them. He clearly had no control over them. So how do we even communicate to these beings now that seem to have become, quiet, sad, grieving? Who can tell?
Yeah, very confusing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, honestly, I'm on team Shadowstalker here, just in terms of like response to what's going on.
Yeah.
Very
It's-
appropriate.
Yeah, she feels like the only one who has the right idea.
The only sane one.
Yeah.
Are you guys fucking kidding me? Like, no.
I do love
let's-
the guilt trip. The guilt trip that gets put on her, though. It's like, well, I mean,
Yes.
you don't have to go up, but like, other.
What a weenie. Wait, what is what does Imp call her? Something
pussycat?
McFancy Pants. No, before a pussycat, she calls her something McFancy Pants or Mc Pussy Pants or something like that. I can't remember. It's
if you want to bitch out, fine, go for
let's
it.
find out.
No, she calls her a full. It's like a full name with like a Mick
You're
Sassy
right.
Pants. It's Mick something pants. I can't remember what it is though.
Oh, something with Control F.
Control F pants.
Yeah.
Mick, and then the blank and pants.
McNancy Pants. Sissy McNancy Pants.
Sissy McNancy Pants.
McNancy.
Im says,
What a name.
She says, I'm not scared. I'm being sensible. This is lunacy. And for what? Charades with an Endbringer? It sounds fucking stupid. I've changed my mind, Imp says. I'm not going to get lumped in with sassy McNancy Pants. I can't even say one. Lumped in with sassy McNancy Pants over here and get called a coward. I am not scared, Shadowstalker said. And then they all just kind of like move on. I love it because they talk over her for a while. Oh, it's great. I love it. Oh, Sissy McNancy Pants. Oh, sorry. That just really tickled me. So funny.
It's a good one.
I should write that down and use that. I'm not going to be a Sissy McNancy Pants. See, actually, I can't use it because I'm not going to be able to get through without laughing.
I was about to say, are you good? Do you need a moment?
McNancy Pants. No, I'm fine. I do think it is very funny though. Just Imp, man. Imp has some fantastic lines in this arc. I'm so here for it.
A good
God,
Imp arc.
I need more of this Imp. Like, I kind of wish that like our past interactions with her had been more like this, because I think I would have liked her a lot better. But I mean, she has grown. Her vocabulary is bigger now. Do you want me to? Shall I move on to the next one, or do you guys want to have more thoughts for this chapter?
No, I'm good for 20.
Yeah, I think move on is good.
Okay, cool beans. Chapter 5. The group fixes their craft and then visits the site of Elite's destruction. The Simmer then upgrades Leviathan. Cauldron is concerned, and the 5 armies are hashed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anyone else get the feeling of like when Godzilla fights the other, is it Mothra? The other big one?
There's many other big ones, Hannah. Godzilla pretty exclusively fought other big ones.
Didn't narrow it down.
Now, I don't know if Godzilla ever fought Mothra without also. Well, no.
What's the other big one?
Godzilla
Godzilla and
Mothra, and then Rodan.
I mean, there's Gordira. There's
Okay,
Oh
what's
my
the
God.
big one
Jeez.
though?
Yeah.
Is it Kong?
Kong is the giant gorilla.
That's-
We're gonna
There's
go.
Kong,
We're
and then
gonna
there's
go with.
King Ghidorah.
Okay, this is
Ghidorah.
too
Mecha
okay.
Godzilla.
Jesus Christ! I regret my decisions. Okay, point being.
You didn't
when-
grow up with
when you
Godzilla
have
Wednesdays,
this-
clearly.
Okay, what is? I did not grow up with Godzilla shit. I just know that there's this clip in whatever more recent-ish movie it was that was very neon, and there's this point where he's like rips open somebody's jaw and like blasts down the throat. Like,
that would be the first Godzilla movie.
Oh yeah, that was
Sure.
like 2014. Yeah,
sure.
The Mutos or whatever.
2014.
Yeah, the
shit.
Mutos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Point
Made
being,
the whole movie.
That was worth it.
That fight of like giant monster on giant monster action is the vibe that I get when the Simurgh just straight up sword freaking just Gladius straight through the fucking core and with Leviathan. Like very big sister, little brother vibes. Like, I'm gonna fucking wreck you. Like,
Kinky.
no, no, not kinky. Just sibling vibes. For shame. For shame. Michael, are you the one who pressed the button?
Michael is always the one pressing the button.
It was Jacob. Jacob pressed
God
it.
damn it.
It was him.
Michael has all the buttons.
Jacob pressed it.
Press all the buttons. I don't know, but that big monster on big monster action, like I loved that. That was so fun. And like I mean, since we've seen them so much as like these huge big bads that like no one can beat, like no one's gonna, it's just, hold them off for as long as we can until they, leave. But they're like fighting each other in this like little moment where you're like, what is happening? Like, what is she doing? And then you realize that like she's basically unlocked the upgrade, which is so cool. Moments that I feel like I cannot wait to see actually like visually one day in the far distant future when this turns into an actual show or movie or whatever. It's gonna be so good. Like just that moment, because it's like all happening in the tower that's been built by the elite. That's like this garden castle city tower place thing. Just the imagery is so good. I just
It gives me big Sephiroth vibes.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Sephiroth.
So one of the most famous Sephiroth. He's a Final Fantasy character. One of his most famous moments. He's got a giant. It's not a katana, but it's that same style of sword.
Okay.
But basically, one of his most famous moments is when he drops from the ceiling and kills the main protagonist's like best friend and love interest in front of him. And he does this. He does this pose where he like drops
Aerith.
Yep.
Okay.
Drops straight down with the sword straight down. And it's got big vibes of that, especially because when they're up close to the Simurgh and they see every movement is intentional in a way.
Yes.
Where she's not like flying with her wings. She's just there. The wings are a feature, right? They're not like necessary to anything she does. And so when Taylor describes her as falling, I imagine her in this like very static pose. Just sword down, kapow, like a meteor smashing into Leviathan's chest. Fantastic.
Oh my gosh. I just watched the scene, by the way. I pulled it up on YouTube. Holy shit.
Yeah, it traumatized a few people in back in the day.
That is a significant, like, I cried as a child. Like, that is probably not even
Alan.
that. That is a moment that is the first time I cried exposed to a piece of media.
Wow.
Like, moment in my head.
Because she's a playable character, right? So you play as her for
fully playable, upgradable
for a
character.
good bit of the game, and then she just gets offed. And you're like, wow, no.
There's apparently like two. There's like the old one and then the new remastered one or something.
It came out with a
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, whatever.
I'll be honest, the music does it. The music sells.
I've had it muted this whole time so I can hear you guys.
Hard.
I've just been watching it and it's I get the vibe of what you're saying though. I understand now the reference. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, totally.
I really like the way that Wildbow describes the Simurghs like flying, because she's not flying, she's using her telekinesis to move herself.
Right.
So like her wings aren't moving. It's like this weird. When I'm imagining it, it's almost more like a fly or like a bumblebee. You know how they're kind of just like zap around the the room,
like hover.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I have always been a big Simmer fan just because of the well, I think we've talked about it before, but the very like biblically accurate angel vibes that she
Yeah,
gives
right.
off. And just
Her
like
halo
all
of
the
weapons.
wings and yes, oh
Ugh.
my gosh, so cool. She does I is it this chapter or is it the last one? I can't remember. Where she starts building all of her pieces to then go together, and she builds like the cannon to take out the
Yeah.
young Vaughn, and like it's just like all hovering around her. It's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Something that's interesting too, and I feel like it's interesting to think about what it says about Eidolon as their creator, is that each of them, I think it's described here or later, each of them sort of represent different like aspects of the world, the self, life, death, like energy and things like that.
Yes.
And of course, all of them, I mean, they're all named after them, so it already evokes that, but most of them are very evocative of, biblical figures, mythical figures,
Yes.
and things like that too. And that's partially because, again, they're named after them. So, but still, it's just kind of an interesting, what does that say about Eidolon? Why were these the things that he created to fight, Almost
Yeah.
that boyish, well, these are the biggest monsters that I can dream up. So here they are,
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love them
we
all.
do love it.
Love the big monsters.
We love our death boys
Mm-hmm.
and girl.
And girl. And token girl.
I think. Yeah. And then we see the upgraded Leviathan
Yes,
Mm.
with
Yeah.
the fins.
With nanotech.
The
With
Yes.
Oh
nanotech
my
fins.
god.
So cool.
Defiant is pissed. He's like, damn it.
I love it.
Hey,
I
does
love
mine.
it so much.
Yeah. My, how the tech tables have turned.
Mm-hmm. It's just so fun. We have fun here.
Yeah.
And then we get to talk about we have the word squick come up again.
Oh.
We do.
Because with Imp talking about Weaver diddling her brother.
Yes.
Ugh.
What a set of words to use.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I wrote that down in my notes.
Yeah.
Right up there with Canary just not getting it.
Oh, poor Canary.
I did love the.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was funny.
I
Poor
asked if I could
Canary.
join them.
Oh no.
On here,
the
I just
panic.
have good job, Canary, you useless ace/lesbian. I didn't know which to insult, but I just meant to insult Canary because, like, my
that's
goodness,
funny.
how
Poor
do you
thing.
not get that?
look at because her excuse is good too. She's like, well, look, I've never been on a team before. I don't know how close people get. Like this poor little rogue. She just wanted to be a singer, and now she's like she's like having to work in a group. Oh, I love it. I think it's so fun.
I did love the vibe. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the movie Tremors 2 or 3 specifically.
No.
But there's a
Nick,
moment
why
where,
did you see 2 and 3?
because that's the one that we had. We didn't actually have Tremors 1. I saw like Tremors 2 before Tremors 1. Anyways, but there's a moment in there where a character just yells, "I didn't know. How could I have known?" And it's perfect for what she's going through.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I love it.
I asked to come with them.
I asked to come with them. Oh, it's
Come
so
with
good.
them.
I definitely put the emphasis in the wrong word in that sentence. I didn't say come with them. I said come with them.
Come with them.
And now I think about it, I'm such a fool.
It's so funny. I love it. I love it.
All right. And now we go and see all of our friends.
All of the friends. We have so many friends. We're just, we're all friends together. Yeah. Chapter 5. Yep, chapter 5. The group fixes their craft and then visits.
6? Did we just do 5?
6.
We just did 4. Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I'm so sorry.
I was
you're
like, yeah.
100% correct. We did just do 5. Chapter 6. Taylor goes to put her affairs in order. while the Simurgh follows Tattletale. Taylor visits Charlotte and the kids, Glenn and Kaye, and Miss Militia. Simurgh oh, wow, I can't.
You got this.
Try that
You can
again.
do it.
The Simurgh sings a lullaby.
Sweet, sweet lullaby.
Yeah. I feel like this is the chapter I liked the least out of this arc. I feel like Taylor's, while I do opposite to Alan enjoy the visit to Glenn and Kaye, I just feel like the whole thing feels a little unnecessary. Like, put your affairs in order. Like, what do you mean put your affairs in order? You should have put your affairs in order like a month ago. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, the
That, like,
affairs are
now
dead.
is the time to say goodbye?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Late.
feels
Yeah, it's a bit late.
it feels a little late. Yeah.
Might be just a smidge.
Just a smidgen.
I will say there was a moment in this particular chapter that actually pulled me out of my suspension of disbelief. I'm sorry. Why did Taylor kiss Mr. Kaye on the cheek?
Yeah.
Because he's hot.
I mean, yeah.
No, I get that. I get that. Trust me. Motivation enough.
Right. Right.
I don't get what's the question then.
Oh my
It's
god.
the end of the world, you know.
But Taylor doesn't strike me as the kind of character to do that. It felt
It
very
did feel a little out of character. I agree.
like I would
Yeah.
understand if she like, and it wasn't even said like in a dramatic way. He was like being goofy, like, "Oh, you're gonna thank me for how I helped you," and then I would expect her to like walk over and maybe, I mean,
punch him on
even
the arm
sassy.
or something.
Even sassy isn't her thing. Just to be like, "Well, I didn't expect you to be here, but I do really," like something serious.
Yeah.
She walks over and kisses him on the cheek. I'm just like, "What?
So weird.
What?
Yeah.
What?"
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all.
No, I agree. It feels weird.
Little out of place. But end of the world, so everybody gets a pass on one thing.
Everyone gets past when it's the
I
end
mean,
of the
I
world.
guess. I don't know.
I think that there were a couple moments where, and I think what it probably is Wildbow knows that this is the end. We're coming to the end of the story. And this is like our last chance to like have some moments with certain characters that like maybe we haven't seen before. Because I feel like that way with Imp. Like we're seeing this like really funny, quippy side of Imp that I don't feel like we've seen before. She's always felt a little like stupid younger sister crass vibes. And now she's freaking hilarious. And like, I just want more Imp. And so like, maybe this is a chance to have kind of this moment of like, well, this is Taylor, like saying goodbye, having the chance to be a little mushy gushy. And, she kisses him on the cheek, gives him a little peck on the cheek before she leaves. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I guess that's what it is. And it feels off because we haven't seen that up to this point. And I feel like it's just like, maybe it's just Wildbow, like, well, this is basically my last chance for us to have these like little happy character moments or like these like funny little quippy moments or whatever before the end is nigh,
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it still felt weird.
Yeah, it feels,
No,
it does
it-
feel weird though.
No, I don't know. It's maybe it's just a personal thing then. But I get what you're saying though. This is one of those things where it's like it did feel like an excuse. Like this arc or this chapter didn't feel the most necessary, but it did feel
Yeah.
like an excuse to pull out a couple more fun characters we haven't seen in a bit, right?
Yeah.
Like Glenn, Mr. Kaye, A Farewell to Miss Militia, which I liked, Charlotte,
Yeah.
Forrest, and the kids.
Forrest.
We had to get a talk about Uber and Leet of all things.
We really did.
We did,
We got a
I mean, we're really
conclusion to their
coming full
story.
circle. Full circle
Oh
here,
yeah. Speaking of coming, Uber and Circus,
Yeah.
like they
Apparently.
didn't work out, but I also get why they were together. You
Yeah.
know? Two people that are just really good at doing things.
Everything.
Yeah.
This did feel for all of my
Flexibility and reach quote, Jacob. Can you?
Mhm.
Yeah. For all of my Mass Effect fans, fellow Mass Effectors, at the very end of the last game, there's this moment before the big fight where you get to go around and talk to all of your crew members in the game, which is really sweet and nice, and it kind of gives the closure, little conversation to get to have. But when you're playing it, you're thinking in the back of your head, like, why the fuck am I taking the time to talk to all these people? The planet is blowing up right now. Like, it's just this halt right before the big fight. It did kind of feel like that a little bit, where it's like, yeah, okay, this is sweet. Oh yeah, nice to see the kids, but
but also we're
Wait a second.
The world is
up
burning.
reality. Yeah, just
Very convenient of you, Scion, to go off to Earth Zeta while we all talk and have our moments.
Or like Zimlet or whatever it is.
Yeah, he'll be making his way back to the alphabet.
No, there is an Earth Z. I don't want to insult the name of it. Ziz. No, Ziz is what they call Simmer.
Yeah.
So
Is it I can't remember.
Just go through your Hebrew alphabet.
I was gonna say they're all Hebrew letters, so I know that.
Because they go through a few of them here, right? They talk about a couple of them.
They talk about ones that have been taken over, and the main one is Earth Gimel, is where the portal has gone through.
Yeah.
Right.
There's one though that mentions
Aleph, Bet.
Oh, you go through them. Yeah.
No, those are the ones I know. Or those
okay.
three: Aleph, Bet, and Gimel.
I like that one wasn't lost to Scion; it was lost to the Sleeper. Another cape.
Can we talk about that? Because I feel like this is one of those things where like they mention things in passing, and I feel like this will probably be a problem in another book. But like at least that's my assumption. But like this is just like another big problem cape, much like Echidna or fucking what's his face who had all of the scary animals, the creepy people.
Nilbog.
Yes, thank you, Nilbog. Goblin backwards.
Sleeper's in that category.
Okay, cool. Have we talked about Sleeper much? Because I don't. It was one of those moments where it's like, should I know who this is?
No. Sleeper is unless and Alan, don't spoil anything if the Sleeper comes back. But from my understanding, Sleeper is Wildbow's. I think Wildbow talks about this in a couple like Q&As or things like that, where Sleeper is basically just part of the world building that exists intentionally as a complete unknown to the reader, so that it's more of like a there's things out here that you're never going to really understand, like kind of like how Tolkien writes about like nameless things underground, stuff like that, where there's just elements of the world that we're not meant to know because they're not important to the story, but then it reminds you that the world is bigger than just your protagonist's point of view, which is kind of cool. So that's
cool.
My interpretation of Sleeper is it's just this entity beyond knowledge right now.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking about this. I'm sorry, Alan, were you about to say something?
No, just that's it.
Okay. Because this was something I was thinking about the other day. That's like if you want to have something in a movie or in a TV show, you can have it happening in the background. Or maybe that's said in passing or like, is on the radio or something like that. And if you're not paying attention or if you don't know, you can totally miss it. And then, on your rewatch or if you are paying attention, you're like, oh my gosh, there it is. They're dropping hints now. But in a book, if something is dropped, you assume that it's important because it's mentioned at all. Because there's so much background noise, you can't just describe all of the background noise. Like the things that are described are probably important. And so the assumption is that if you're going to mention a character that, has wiped out an entire Earth or like a portal to a safe space is like, well, you can't use that one anymore because the Sleeper got it. Like, well, what's the Sleeper? It's like, well, we're not going to, you don't need to know. It's like, okay, so I need to know for later then because like clearly you mentioned it, so it's important. So like with stuff like that, and probably this is a bonus of Worm being so long, is that like Wildbow can drop things like that and we can be like, the fuck? And be like, well, you'll never know.
I almost feel like it's a web serial tactic to be like, but wait, I want to know what that was. I gotta keep reading. I gotta know,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a way to keep you hooked in.
Right. I mean, it tracks. It makes sense to me.
It works. I'm curious.
It's Jacob, it's funny you mentioned Mass Effect for your ending. But I thought of a different property regarding Cauldron just wandering around handing out vials of powers now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, do you want powers? You want to get powers and come fight? And I was racking my brain like, which big incident in DC Comics had that basically go down. So Hannah was there when I was scouring. Like I was like, I can't. It's not Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it's not 0 Hour. It's one of the big ones. I finally found it while we've been recording, consulting the DC encyclopedia. I find here it's the Mageddon War, while the heroes hold off the Warbringer. Wonder Woman, I think, rallies basically the entire planet Earth and gives everybody temporary superpowers to go and fight the big threat.
Oh, yeah.
So it is just billions of randos flying in space, a la Superman style, just to come fight.
See, I'll let you finish, but I mean, that just sounds like a ripoff of the end of Emperor's New Crew.
Wait, what? What?
That's what I was thinking. So Cauldron's handing out all these vials. They're going to get to one, and we're going to get, I've just been turned into a cow. Can I go home?
Oh my God.
Also, Glenn and Kaye. I cannot think of two more opposite characters that play the same role in the story.
Oh.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I was getting them confused a little bit, actually, because of that.
Like, I imagine that they're both, like, body type. They're both naturally the same, but Kaye has, like, kept himself in really good shape, and Glenn hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Haircut wise, I kind of imagine that they have the same haircut, but Kaye's is like slicked back or like, done to look really hot. And Glenn's, as we've talked about, is kind of just messy and like pushed to the front and kind of looks ugly. And yeah, it's just, and then their job is to just give Taylor advice. Except one brings donuts and one just makes weird decisions, especially clothing wise. I don't condone finger guns, but when you're that hot, you can get away with stuff.
All I can think of with that is I'm just referencing stuff tonight, but it just reminded me of Obi-Wan in episode 3 being like, so uncivilized.
And meanwhile, Kaye, I mean, if it works, it works, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Like, if you had any Riz, Glenn, you would understand.
Yeah, that's true. That's
It's
true.
just
That scar pulls.
It's true.
I mean,
It's true.
look. Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. Yes.
Scars always pull.
Okay, can we also talk about how Cauldron is just giving away control of Endbringers? Like for a price?
Well, selling, not giving.
For a price.
Right, yeah.
It's like, well, teacher offered us something, so we're going to give him Tohu.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Don't give him the Bionicle. What were you thinking?
Yes.
Cauldron,
and it's just
they're riding this this whole we predict this years ago, we've been preparing ever since. At some point, Cauldron, you got to start showing your work here, because things aren't looking too good.
You're giving off a very you're giving off panic.
Yeah,
it's giving panic.
It's giving panic. Yeah,
just dabbing slowly with the handkerchief. No, this is all according to plan. Dab, dab, dab.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All according to yes. Right.
And then, as you see on my next slide here, our contingency plan Zeta.
The panic is setting in. The panic is setting in. The panic is setting in.
Also, okay. The end of this chapter. The end of this chapter.
Yeah.
Is what happens when she gets the I'm sorry. The Simurgh speaking in her own train of thought.
Yeah. That was cool.
Is that what's going on?
That's how I read it.
I'm going to pull it back up because I need to look at it again.
It's in her internal monologue.
Yeah.
like she says, it's in her like it's.
Oh, it says it in her voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's in her head.
Yes.
Like
that's how I read it. I read it the same way, where it was essentially the simmer speaking. Isk, you know.
And then.
Oh yes, yeah, because it's singing. She's like looking out the window and she says, "Stop," and then she stops, singing instantly. And it's like this whole moment of like, wow, the silence is so deafening. Like it makes me wonder how loud it had actually been. And then the "I'm sorry, my voice, but not my words." Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Honestly, I hadn't picked up on that at all. And then she doesn't sleep all night because obviously.
How could you?
Obviously. What is Simmerf's lullaby, by the way? What is she singing?
Oh, it's got to be something.
You can take me hard to go.
Hush now, my baby.
Be still, love. Don't cry.
Don't cry.
Yeah, the lullaby. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think of it as because like her whole thing is that she sings without singing. It's like it's more than just like a tune and words. It's like this very kind of haunting. If you've been on TikTok, there was this girl who sang into a fan, and it was very like, I don't know. It was. It like it still does like taps into a weird part of my heart. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'll put it in chat for you guys. But like, it's a very like haunting, not haunting. It's just like really sad all of a sudden. You're like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like that would be. Here, I'm gonna find it. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Hold on. TikTok girl singing into a fan. Yeah, girl harmonizing with her fan. Hold on.
In the meantime, yeah, it's I imagine this is a pretty haunting thing. I've seen this other thing come up a few times of a song that's got a double track. The left ear is singing in English, the right ear is singing in French.
Oh.
And it's probably very similar, sort of this just like disconcerting, that I don't know if I like that or not.
Okay, I put it in a general. This is a random video of someone like reacting to it, but just listen to the audio.
Okay. Oh yeah, very haunting. I like it.
Yeah, that is the Simmerg for sure.
It's very like siren vibes, where it's like,
I was gonna say,
it's very haunting. It kind of has this like weird harmony to it that you like still don't.
Kind of sounds like, was it the soundtrack for Atlantis that had some like cool vocals in it? I have to try to think.
Maybe so, yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that a lot. Yeah, it's very good. And to anybody who is listening and can't hear that, look it up yourself.
Just look up girl harmonizes with her fan on TikTok.
Final chapter, or any final thoughts on chapter 6?
So the final chapter. Yeah, I'm good with opening into the final chapter.
Yeah, so the interlude is, I hate sometimes the interludes. I'm so confused for so long until I'm not, and then I need to reread the whole fucking chapter again. Okay, so we open with the Simmer as she dreams past and present and is kind of just functioning and things are happening. Okay, then we're with Chevalier and he shoots down Ingenue, quite literally. And then we're with Defiant and Dragon being reunited as teacher hands Dragon back over. Then we're back with Chevalier again as he addresses the Protectorate and the little baby wards that are there all drinking champagne. And then we like zoom the fuck out. And all of this has been from the perspective of the Watcher as Dr. Mother, as she's kind of like looking and watching with Doormaker and some of the capes that teacher has provided. But she gets pulled out because the irregulars, led by Weld, have assaulted Cauldron and have chosen this fucking moment to go, oh, hey, yeah, no, we're going to fuck you up now. And Weld is like, timing, guys, timing. So, God damn it, Weld.
Oh, Weld.
Timing is shit.
Yeah. It does show you just how how pessimistic people are about their survival, right? They have
Right.
no trust that they're going to survive this. They do
None.
not believe they're going to do it. So they're
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let's just fuck up the lady who made us this way
Yeah.
as badly as we can.
As badly as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Weld is like, whoa, wait. I thought we wanted information.
We didn't agree
Poor
to this.
Weld. I feel like this is Weld's moment of realizing, oh, I've been seeing the best in people, when in fact, I should have been looking for the worst.
You're so stupid, Weld.
Oh. Silly boy.
We love
silly
Weld,
boy.
but he's such
Yeah,
a dumb boy.
His brain is metal. He got metal brain.
His brain is metal. Poor little guy. He's like, I think it's he's just, they've all been hurt so badly, and he's created this safe space for them where it's like, well, we all got fucked over, so like let's be a family together. And then they're all like, actually no, we want to burn everything to the ground. He's like, well, wait, I thought we were a family.
Let's talk through it.
Cool,
Why
guys.
is this a mutiny all of a sudden? Like what happened? You guys.
Yeah. I have a feeling this was like they're sitting in their little meetings, their little group sessions, and they're all making it very obvious that they're going to kill Dr. Mother. And Weld is like, well, let's use our words. Let's kind of talk through it. It's like just not picking up on the fact that like this
We'll
It's
be
very much
using
the,
our
like-
words. Meanwhile, like cracking knuckles.
Yeah.
We'll give
Yeah.
her a good
use our
stern
words.
talking to.
Yeah, because it is that thing. It is that thing in the movies, right, where the bad guy's like, "I just want to talk,"
Yeah.
And so Weld's like, "Yeah, we just want to talk," and all the other people are like, "Yeah, we just want to talk."
Sure,
and he's
we'll
like, "Yeah,
talk."
exactly."
Pulling
Yeah.
out brass knuckles and stuff behind him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Sveta, you're really cutting in my skin there. Do you mind?
Yeah.
It's something I said triggered you.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poor Weld.
I did like in that scene, we get a glimpse of what the clairvoyant can do if you get too close. You guys catch that?
Which one?
One of the irregulars teleports to Doormaker and Clairvoyant, who isn't called Clairvoyant. He's called by his like vial number or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, 263 or something
Yeah.
like that.
And he takes out Doormaker, and then Clairvoyant touches him because Clairvoyant grants anyone he touches, like he does with Doormaker, like infinite sight across the multiverse. And so you just pass out because you can't handle it. It was just a funny little moment. It happened pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Right.
Yeah, hitting Doormaker seemed like the wrong person.
Oh my
I'll be honest.
God. Oh my God.
Once again,
God
people be
damn it,
fucking
Weld.
you up.
Yeah.
When we need these things. We need Dragon. We need Doormaker. And these dumb motherfuckers want to be taking out the logistics, like the supplies.
Every time.
We need these.
Yeah.
I really wanted like a pan back over, cut a freeze frame, cut back over to Dinah, and just get our update. Like, how the numbers looking, Dinah?
Shit.
Yeah, just like a little fuck.
Oh, that's a solid 5% success rate there now.
Yeah.
Well, we
Ooh,
had a 12% of survival. It's dropped to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold on.
exactly.
We're going up. Oh.
And we're down.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
There's a
Oh no.
7%.
I'm losing it.
It's gone.
Oh,
No,
we're in
it's-
single digits now.
Now they gone.
Now they go. Yeah,
Damn.
it definitely does feel like
The worst possible timing.
the worst possible timing. I mean, props to Weld though, being the guy who's like, I think I can hold him off for a bit. Can you escape? And she's like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's funny, of all the wormnesia stuff, I have a memory of, I think, what's about to happen in the next arc, because I just remember stuff happening at Cauldron. Fighting stuff happening at Cauldron with the custodian specifically.
Yeah.
And like
I thought we jumped to that faster than
yes,
whatever this whole arc was.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So I'm like, I actually weirdly remember that. So I know what's going to happen next, sort of. But nothing else. I have no idea of how this is going to end other than that little tiny bit.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Getting some fun moments.
So for the whole narrative device for this arc, or not for this interlude, correct me if I'm wrong, but somehow Tattletale is hitching a ride with Simurg's dreaming to be able to see all of this. Correct?
That Tattle.
No.
Wait, what?
Well, that the Simurf is giving her dreams of what's happening.
So yeah. Like read the beginning of almost every section and the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind
It's
of
always like
it's a couple
wait,
people talking.
hold on. Stop there. Like,
Yeah.
and it's clearly Tattletale talking.
I assumed that was Dr. Mother talking
Yes.
to the person who was sort of in charge of,
Yeah, that's what I assumed
like,
as well.
because she says, like, I can view everybody now and it doesn't hurt me. I'm not in a coma for a week because I have somebody who can help direct me.
Right.
That was more the vibe I got.
Yeah, because there is a conversation throughout this chapter where it's like two people and like it's too much. Hey, are you okay? What happened? Nosebleed. Can you hear me? You need to tell the kid to change targets. Aim at somewhere else. And then like,
Okay.
They okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh my God, it's amazing. Look at this. Focus. Do as we were told. Can't see. Can't. Moving on. Hey, the nosebleed stopped. There's nothing happening here. Shouldn't we focus on something else? Let them rest.
You're
And
right.
Some time
you're right.
passed there. Yeah,
Okay.
I assumed that it
Sorry,
was
when
like
I saw
them
When I
discussing
saw
as they're looking.
Nosebleed, I assumed Tattletale for some reason.
Fair assumption. Yeah.
But no, you're right. I guess it's the Simurg is just the first part, and then
Yeah, because Simurg is at the beginning. That's like the just what she's up to. Because they say at the end that like part of this isn't just like viewing, it's also like being part of the person's, I think I'm remembering that correctly, but it's like you're also getting an insight into like what they're doing, because she knows then at the end that like she's trying that the Simurg is trying to hide something, that she's like looked into the future. She's like looked at all the possible options, and she knows that like no one can see that she's messing with some like she's making something out of glass, like some glass tube. But like Dr. Mother notices it and is like, I have to write this down. I have to, remember this. And then of course the irregulars are there.
yeah,
Fucking
I'm
everything
just
up.
yeah. It's just weird that it shifts almost perspective midway through that first section.
Well,
Because it's like all from
it's weird.
From what seems to be the Simurg's perspective, because we're getting her kind of
Right.
internal reasonings, which these characters wouldn't be able to witness. But then it gets to it's too much. Hey, you okay? Yada yada, and then we move on to stuff that is all like witnessable.
Well, Dr.
not
Mother literally says, it's so weird that I could see the Simurg's thoughts.
Yeah, draw conclusions
says
as
that.
to their
Missed that?
thoughts and their brain patterns.
Did I just miss that? Where is that?
She says she could spy on everyone. She's talking about Screen and Scanner, the two that are there to help. With Scanner, so Screen was a means to absorbing the drawbacks. He took the brunt of the images, allowed Doormaker to handle the requests without it taking their attention. She could spy on everyone. With Scanner, she could read them, draw conclusions as to their thoughts and their brain patterns.
That's right. But yeah. I guess this is just for that, because they got Scanner on a loan, right?
They're on, I think are they both on a loan, or is it just Scanner that's on a loan from Teacher?
I think it's just Scanner.
One caveat.
Because they had
Teacher's payment for Konzo had been a partnership in Cauldron as well as protection. He'd sent some of his students to the doctor in the effort. Blah, 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 caveats, blah, 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 blah. I think it's implied that Screen and Scanner were both sent, because Screen can absorb the drawbacks and Scanner can like get into their heads.
Yeah, because before it was Doormaker.
It's just Doormaker, because Doormaker's the one who can do like look.
No. There's Doormaker and there's one more.
265.
has a permanent. Yeah, Doormaker has a permanent partner who can see everything.
That the partner is 265, the clairvoyant.
Okay.
Yeah, the clairvoyant. Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, I see the now she was herself again. Okay. Yeah, I guess I just missed Dr. Mother saying that.
I think that's an easy thing to miss,
Yeah,
especially
there's a lot
since
happening.
these
in this
perspective
chapter.
arcs are always this one's really tricky to follow.
Yes.
This
I don't
again-
like changing perspective
Me
arcs.
neither.
Yeah,
I get
Well, this
so
one
confused.
again kind of feels like I want a way to show what's happening with everybody at this moment.
Yeah.
How can I excuse that? And that kind of feels like that almost of like, oh, Dr. Mother can see everything. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
God.
the being inside of Simurg's head is, a good inverse to what just happened, where like the Simurg was talking inside Taylor's head, like in her own internal thoughts.
Mm,
Or like, I wonder if
yeah.
if you could be inside the Simurg's head, like speaking essentially the Simurg's internal monologue, but not realizing that you're doing it. Like not controlling the Simurg, but like, yeah, just present
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
and thinking that it's like all one and the same.
I do think we need to address too that the irregulars claim to have beaten both the custodian and Contessa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
What?
don't know exactly what the custodian can do, but that seems like a big deal.
That is a
Well-
bit
well-
like Contessa. Come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, Contessa, you've got to get some sort of power nullifying thing
Yeah, I guess so.
before
Yeah.
she can activate her contingencies. Because like if she knows that she's going to fight, let's say Hatchet Face, then she just picks him off at a distance. But
But if
if
you can
she
get the
gets-
drop on her and then use like a power nullification thing,
yeah,
then
Oh, that's
You
right,
got
because
her.
they have Manta.
Mantle,
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
which appears to produce some sort of spherical aura that I'm guessing negates powers.
Mantellum.
Which
Yeah.
is great for Case 53s because most of their powers have already like happened. If that like,
Right.
they are their more physically their powers, so it wouldn't affect it. Much like Tinkers. Like Tinkers don't get power nullified
Right.
Right. Yeah.
because most of this stuff is their equipment. Just their ability to build it is nullified.
With Case 53s, it's their bodies are their powers, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
You're not going to stop Gully from being enormously strong and huge.
Yeah.
That doesn't get nullified. Her beating you to death
Right.
with that giant shovel does not get nullified.
I was just gonna say it goes back again. Hatchet Face's ego got in the way. The dude could have ruled the world as like
Could've.
this serial killer. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody can figure him out. He just walks around killing capes, but he had to get yapping.
Isn't that always the downfall? You
Yeah.
start monologuing.
Mm-hmm.
They got him monologuing.
That's right. And then coil sniper, bada bam.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby.
Well, I mean, do we hope Dr. Mother gets out? I feel like she's pretty important, even if she is an asshole.
Yeah.
I respect because I don't think she has powers, right? I don't.
No.
No.
Yeah, I think that's kind of.
Powers being right all the time.
Yeah, I respect that game. The no powers,
The
tingling.
non-powered game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect.
Respect.
Did we talk about Chevalier and Ingenue yet?
Oh,
Not
we didn't.
really.
Not really.
Not really.
Kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
That was
Chevy,
pretty funny,
mon
though.
ami.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That was fun.
His cannon blade was ready to fire.
Oh man, it went
So
off
ready.
prematurely.
It did go off prematurely. I do like that he just took out the door frame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is
Kaboom!
so ready to fuck him.
Ah,
And
love it.
he is so tempted, but not having it.
Not having it.
Um, And then you kind of find out why. Like she was already into him. And then he throws himself in front of a blast for her.
Yes. Well, he did it already. This isn't a new thing. This is a like, oh, you did
Yeah.
that. Like, yeah, I did.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like she was already hot for him, kind of. And then we get to like that happened during, I assume, like the oil rig fight. And she's like, okay, I was at like, we were getting some waves, but now we are at high tide.
High tide.
No, it was it sends a good message to all the white knighters out there,
Mm-hmm.
because even if a girl is into you protecting them from devastating things, like Scion, she might be crazy.
Yeah.
she might be crazy.
But I do love though. She's like, "Come on, please," and he's like, "I'm going to shoot you," and then she's like, "No, you won't." Boom!
Bam!
Boom!
Get fucked.
Sorry, Michael, I peeked there, but needed to be said.
So did Chevalier.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Get thee behind me, wench.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What's
Also-
that meme? Chevalier, you come with me, Chevalier. We could be so great to get there. And it's
But then
the
Dami Narwhal
chat.
showed up
Dummy
with
narwhal.
the handcuffs.
Oh,
So
I forgot.
good.
guys, I'll be back. I'll be back. Give me a minute.
Okay, but also two other things. One funny, and then something else with Chevalier. First, I wrote down for the interlude the phrase. Yeah, they're talking about like, couldn't we have done this like protectorate meeting on a nice landscape? And they're like, nah, hospital's fine. And somebody's like, Tecton, I bet you would like a nice landscape, huh? Just goes dim peaks.
Dim peaks.
Yeah.
That's so good.
They said, what is it? Geography porn?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Geography
Yeah,
porn for the landscape detecting ability person.
Yeah.
Just
Dim
like,
peaks, though.
dim peaks.
Once again.
go.
Oh, Tecton.
Can we?
You're such a great. You're
When
so
the sun rises and hits the edge of those peaks just right, eye edge.
great. Oh.
We gotta. So for that big
Be
speech,
cape. Be a cape. Have geographical sensing abilities. See a good sunrise over the mountain peaks. Peak.
No.
He's triggering.
See, all we're doing, we're just expanding the things that superheroes have sex with. We know that Weld has sex with a tractor.
That's confirmed. Yes.
And
Yeah.
now, Tecton just likes to find a nice crevice between two hills and go to town.
Oh, Nick, this is my hole.
This is my
It was
hole.
made for me.
It was made for me.
No.
I understand that reference.
I'm
my
so
God.
glad.
I've got to just say though, as a visual for that big meeting that the Protectorate all have, Chevalier comes right from the hospital. They make a point of saying that he dragged his IV thing through the portal. So like,
Yeah.
is he just hospital gowning it on top of a roof?
Please, I
his
hope so.
ass is
For
out.
sure. For sure.
He better be, or I'll
Yeah.
be mad.
He better be. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
I think the other key thing to mention here is that he does decide he needs Ingenue which I guess Ingenue maybe has something similar to Teacher, right? Where it can like
Yes.
raise up,
Power
increase your powers.
amplification. Yeah.
But the reason why is because he has pieces of all of the Endbringers.
Oh yeah.
And he's going
Mhm.
to use it to make a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
Forged in
So
the
anime.
fires of Mount
I
Doom.
can only get so hard.
What Endbringers once were broken are now reforged.
I mean, this is just like the ultimate fantasy game anime nerd moment where like you have a chance to take the body of a boss you just beat and turn it into a weapon.
You're
I
right.
mean,
like,
Oh,
have you guys
Monster
seen?
Hunter
yeah.
World.
Well, it's what, Kaiju number 8?
Kaiju number 8.
It's Kaiju
Dark
number 8.
Souls.
So
Dark
good.
Souls
Kingdom
does it.
Death.
Dark Souls does it. Yeah.
If you're good
Yeah.
enough in Dark Souls like me, you can cut off the tails of every dragon and take their tails as
All
weapons.
right. Nobody likes a bragger.
I even cut off the tail of the invisible dragon in the painted world.
Oh,
Oh,
my.
thank you now. Wow.
Oh,
Where's the mute button? God damn it, son of a bitch.
Triggering.
Can't find the mute button. Michael, just cut all that out.
anyways, but yeah, that's one of those moments I completely forgot about, and I'm just like, oh my god, yes, please, give me the giant anime boom blade.
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
The big boom boom blade.
Yeah. You've seen the Buster sword. How about you bust in this sword? No, I'm sorry.
A Buster
God.
sword. I barely know her sword.
No.
Oh, gosh.
Kinky.
It's not a cannon blade. It's the old boom stabby.
It's the N Bringussy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I hate it so much. Wow.
The Canussi blade.
No.
The cannon bussy.
Oh my God.
Kinky.
No.
Oh, I'm dying over here.
Wow. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh
my gosh.
Oh yeah. This is the good
imp over here asking Defiant about that AIOC.
You'll see. The Dragussi.
The Robussy.
No. Oh my God.
Oh.
I do like the image of Chevalier just standing in a hospital gown against Scion holding Behemoth's leg.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see this animated.
Yeah.
Better get busy forging or get busy dying.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
God.
Well, I think that about wraps it up.
I feel like we did real good.
I don't think we should keep
Favorite
going.
capes. Favorite
Favorite
powers.
capes, favorite powers.
Yeah, not much here.
Yeah, not many new powers. I still like the idea of the Yangban. I think is a really cool concept for a superhero group.
Of course.
The idea of having did you say of course?
Yeah. I mean,
Typical
what
Nick.
else to expect from a Kaiser stand?
Yeah.
Listen, I just think the idea of
No, they are
group
pretty
share
cool.
powers.
We know
Listen.
what ideas you like.
Stop. Nope.
The ideology of the power, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
What kind of power, Nick, though?
A communist one.
No.
Listen, I just want weaponized. I like weaponized communism is what we have here, right?
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
It's like, no, comrade. This is not your power. This is our power.
Our power. I love it.
But as an idea, if it weren't the Yangban's, methodology of torturing people until they're brainwashed, it'd be cool. It'd be kind of neat to be like, hey, we're a team and we all can share powers.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I do agree. I'll give a shout out. I already shouted him out, but the clairvoyant. I just love the idea of him overloading people he touches with infinite vision across the multiverse, and people just not being able to handle it.
Deep cut, but if you've ever seen Bravest Warriors, there's a horse that can see all of eternity, and he just
my gosh.
always just laying there.
Yes.
And it's the best.
Every
That's what I
day.
think of. Look it up,
Love
Bravest Warriors horse.
I see.
Yes.
Eternity.
It's so good. I see eternity.
It's amazing.
It is pretty great.
Yeah. I really like Teacher. The powers are crazy. Like
I want to see like a chess match showdown between like Coil, Teacher, Accord,
yes.
all the crazy thinkers.
And
Tattletale.
Fault Line, who doesn't have a power for thinking, but still beats them.
Yeah.
The Number Man.
Oh, yeah. Number Man. Yeah. Get him in there.
Always a classic.
Yeah, I don't have a good new power that I was really
There's not a lot of
enamored
new
by.
ones.
There was a lot of returning old powers that were enjoyable to see.
Right.
Like Leviathan's new, nano thorn things.
The nano fins.
Yeah.
Simurg in general.
Yeah.
But shout out to a new but old. Would of course. I'm just going to go back to Narwhal.
I was gonna say Narwhal as well.
The
'cause
mundane
Narwhal.
uses of the force fields.
Really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. I just love the bookmark. It's just so good. So good.
The fact that she's reading a book
Yeah.
just makes her hotter.
It just yes.
Her horn makes you horny.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You're not wrong.
She changed out horns too.
Yeah, that was
Didn't
cool.
they say
it's like
it
a
was a
crescent
more
moon
like
now.
it's like a more crescent moon,
Yeah.
almost like a hook, which I was saying getting hooked on reading right there.
Talk about a reading rainbow. Oh.
Ooh. Got me hot for words.
Yeah. I still want a Narwhal book club, please. Narwhal book Rex, if you please. I was gonna also say Narwhal, but since Alan said Narwhal, I know we've already seen it before, but it's nice to see Lung back. It's nice to have him back on the back on the force,
it is nice
if you
to have
will.
Lung back.
He's just, I mean, he hasn't even used anything yet, and it's already, nice to have him back as like that heavy hitter. And yeah, I like him, so I'm a fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a side note, I feel like there was a bit of a question about his powers, actually, about whether or not he's even going to try to use them. Which I
don't know. It feels like he just hasn't. Like, I think Taylor makes a comment about it at one point where she's like, oh, he did this and he didn't even use any of his power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, let him fight,
Exactly.
All right.
Well, does that bring us
On
to the
that
end?
note.
I think it does.
I guess so.
Is this one of our
Crazy.
shorter episodes? It felt like it went by fast.
I mean,
We'll let the viewers decide.
we've been recording for over 2 hours, so
We are about half an hour away from our regular length.
And
we're
let's
a
be
little,
We gotta
honest,
stall.
little short.
like an hour 45 of this was not even usable. Michael's going to cut it all.
That's true.
An hour
Don't cut
45.
a thing.
It's just going to be a 10-second TikTok that just says, this arc, good.
Yeah.
Narwhal, hot.
Narwhal,
Yeah.
narwhal, hot. Yeah. Perfect.
Love it.
All right. Bring us home, Jacob.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks, everyone. This was a lot of fun. Good arc. Little bit of a breather before. Well, I was going to say before shit hits the fan, but shit's already hit the fan. We just get a little breather before the fan speeds up, I guess. I don't know.
Before the fan hits the shit.
explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Shit has hit
continue
fan.
to-
We wait now for fan to hit shit again.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. But as always, we really appreciate everyone listening, and we love reading all the comments on YouTube and Reddit and Discord for our patrons. If you want to engage with us on a more personal level, ask us questions, interact, share memes, ideas, funny stories, see bonus content that is not available to everybody, head on over to our Patreon. We'd love to welcome you into our little community that we're building. A lot of fun. We're having a good time over there. So all are welcome. Please stop by. And next time on the Brockton Bay Book Club, we'll be in Arc 29. Well, before that, stick around, Alan and I, to talk about Arc 28 on Dissecting Worm. And then we'll be in Arc 29, the deep breath before the plunge right now, as Gandalf would wisely say. But thanks again for listening, everybody. And Michael, would you like to play us out?
Thank you so much for listening. Read along with us at parahumans.wordpress.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you love? What did you hate? Anything you think we missed, etc., as long as it's kind. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit at Brocktonbaybc, or click the link in the description.